Hello everyone and welcome. This is Ardicer from Ardicer Gaming, and today I will be showing you my Stamina Dragonite Werewolf build. This could possibly be my best Dragonite Werewolf build out there. We're in the Dragon Bones DLC, and I've attuned a few sets together, and well, this build is a full heads-on all-rounder. We're talking max resistances, solid sustain, high pressure coming from the Major Defile debuff that we're running. We have some strong burst potential, and we have mad healing with this one. So yeah, I feel so comfortable with this build, having major success with it. So yeah, that's why I feel like I should release this to my viewers. So let's get right into it. First things first, I race changed. I used to be a wood elf because I was relying heavily on stam recovery, and I've changed that to being a red guard. That's because I've completely negated relying on stamina recovery and went more with the resource management coming from heavy attacks. So that's for the race. Our Mundus then also is the warrior for more weapon damage. And I'm using tri-stat foods now, so max health, max magicka, max stamina. We want big pools to work with. I will be showing you the stats then. So this is basically the bar we want to be at. A big magicka pool to pull our heals from, max health 22.3. In Cyrodiil we have 28k max health, so we have a big pool to pull those, to put those big heals in. Stamina pool is decent. That goes up when you're in a werewolf. Stam recovery is right on the sweet spot. I don't want to go any lower than this, but yeah, you can go lower if you want to. I personally don't recommend it. This is just fine. Magicka recovery 663. We need that for our heals, and it's perfectly fine where it is right now. So yeah, as you can see, the resistances like this are not all that great. We just dropped her major resolve and major ward, but that's okay. When you go into werewolf, you add 10k with that, so that's when you're almost reaching the cap already. Plus we're using Bloodspawn, and well, there's also wardens around these days who can give you the major ward and major resolve back. If that happens to be up at the same time, we're talking 40k resistances. So that's well over the cap, and I hear you people saying already, why would you go over the resistance cap? Well, we're talking PvP here. There's penetration going on, so after the penetration would still be around that cap. Plus werewolf has 0 defensive abilities, so you know, overstacking doesn't really hurt when you're playing a werewolf. Going to the front bar, not that it really matters. We don't play on this very often. So yeah, these are the front bar stats. The weapon damage is a little higher here. So that's it for the stats then. Alright then, going over the gear. We're using a silent greatsword here. We only use this to ulti-gen because when we reverse slash we generate 14 ultimate. We want that werewolf up as fast as we possibly can so we can get into our offense. It's an in-a-nerd trait to get a bigger heal from our rally, and I'm using double dot poisons on them to get some pressure on my targets. So they might have to go into their defense, so that cleans the air for me a bit while I'm getting my ultimate in order to fight as a werewolf. Moving on, this is important, so I'll save it for later. Bloodspawn, heavy head and shoulders, all triglyphed. Don't have anything else than triglyph. We want that big pool of magicka and that big pool of health in order to you dump that big heals into somewhere. You know, if you're running low health and you have 50k heals and you're running only 20k health, you're not really benefiting from it that much. So that's why I also want the big health pool. So yeah, heavy, then we're running Pelinos. Pelinos is a great set. It gives 1 piece max health, and then we have stem recovery, we want that. And then we have magical recovery, we want that as well. And when we have the 5 piece active, and that's not on this bar, our weapon and spell damage will both be the highest of the 2 values. In our case, it's weapon damage, that's the highest, so the spell damage kills to the weapon damage as is. So therefore we will have a big spell damage pool and a big magicka pool, and that's what makes the werewolf heal so great on this build. Moving on to the second set, Salvation. I can't drop this one, man. I love it so much. All in all, a good, solid overall set. 2 pieces of max stamina, 1 piece of max recovery, and when the 5th piece is active, your werewolf transformation is reduced by 33%, so that's 201 ultimate left in order to transform, and our weapon damage is increased by 148, fully golded out, that's 150, and also that adds up to our spell damage as is. So all in all, really solid. Running 5 heavy and 2 medium, so these are Salvation, these 2 are medium, and then the rest is heavy. This is Pelinos, this is crafted. And we're running 2 well fitted and 5 impen. And then on the shield we have impen as well. Then on our jewelry, Salvation to complete it. Weapon damage on this one. Reduced costs on this one. And then another weapon damage. Then we're going to our back bar. And this is important, I will show it. This is where both of the 5 pieces become active. I got 1 Pelinos sword in Nirnhorn with a spell damage glyph to up and up that weapon damage and also the spell damage. Fully buffed, we gain 4004 weapon damage, so that's also 4004 spell damage to pull major heals from. I've checked my tooltip from time to time. I didn't even believe I was fully buffed at that time, but I was hitting a 19k tooltip on my Hershey's Rage on my heal. So yeah, really solid healing. The Pelinos sword on this one, and then I have a Shield of Salvation on this one. So as you can see now, both of my 5 pieces are active. This is like the best way you can put it, because when you're on your front bar you have 2 4 pieces active. Because on our front bar both of the 5 pieces are useless, so it's better to have 2 4 pieces active instead of 1 3 piece and 1 5 piece. So that's it for the gear right there. Moving on to the skills. On our front bar, Stampede to gap close. We're not particularly fast, so gap closing on our enemies can really help. Then Rally for a major vitality, and our heal overtime, and our big boy burst heal when the effect expires. Then Noxious Breath to put some penetration on our targets and a small dot. Then we have Venomous Claw, big boy dot right here. Really strong, really adds up the pressure. And then Reverse Slice to proc our Asylum weapon to gain ultimate whiff. And you can actually finish people off like this. It just so happens actually pulled it off a few times, not really on the good players, but you get the point, it works from time to time. Then we have Flawless Dawnbreaker, not the Dawnbreaker of Smiting. I want the 8% total weapon damage increase for this one. It says 5 here, and then with the Fighter's Guild passive we get another 3, so that's a total of 8. We want that weapon damage up, and so our rally has a bigger heal. That's basically all it is for. I never use this. It's just a passive buff to our weapon damage. Then, on the back bar, a Refurb Bash. So in combination with all the dots and Refurb Bash, you can really put pressure on the target, because we get Major Defile on them, and we've upped the Major Defile as well. So we have 39% of healing reduction on our target. So it's really a lot. Combining all the dots, so there's a total of let's say 2 dots from my Venomous Claw, my Noxious Breath, and then the double dot poison, so 4 dots. It's a lot of pressure going on, so in that order you buy yourself some time to get your werewolf up, and it really works out. Then a basic setup you would see from any of my werewolf builds: resolving figure for the heal, igneous shield to proc major mending and get that small shield, then heroic slash for minor maim on our target, making us more tanky, and proc minor heroism to generate more ultimate. We want that ultimate in order to go straight into combat. And Voltar armor for our resistances. This is a really great buff, 5.2k, and passively we get more healing received when this is active. Of course it will expire when you transform into werewolf. This is the smallest buff we have, so I cast this at the last moment. Its duration is only 20 seconds, but still it really helps. Then into the ultimate werewolf berserker. Yeah, I've tried the white wolf again, and it's really nice for duels and stuff, because you know those two small wolves get in the way of literally everything. But the physical damage these light attacks do on the werewolf berserker, the damage over time, the bleed damage, is what I'm talking about, is really so strong when I'm fully transformed. 20k over 8 seconds. It says 13.4 here, but we're obviously not transformed right now. But transformed, this is really a lot of pressure, so I still choose to go with berserker. You can go with the white wolf if you want to. I just don't feel like it. Then into the werewolf we go. We'll buff up now. Sure, really quick where we are. This is where we're sitting at concerning our stats. I go over the tooltips of the skills really quick, so you can see the damages and the heals it does right now. And this will go up, you know, you have your light attacks going on in order to up in the damage and up in the healing that we do. Yeah, so yeah, let's go over the skills one more time and then explain them. Pounce, gap closer, really nothing more than that. If a target is off balance, you will stun them. That's usually not the case, but it could possibly happen, so bear that in mind if you want to go in for a combo. And this adds duration to your werewolf, so every time you leap further than 10 meters away, which is basically every time, you get 4 seconds to your duration, so this really helps you stay in your werewolf form. Then we got Hircine's Rage, our heal. It says 12.4k now. I've reached it all the way up to 19.2. I will show that in the screenshot right now. Moving on. Rousing Roar. This is to gain our major brutality, but also to fear our targets and set our targets off balance. Then we're moving on to Howl of Agony. This is our spammable. Don't spam it too much because it's very costly, but try using a combo with a heavy attack and then it can be really lethal. And then Claws of Anguish, really important. You can swap this on a group of people and they're all going to be defiled. Yeah, really strong, and really a lot of people are struggling to survive when they have this on them, and you can really keep this up 24/7 if you want to. So yeah, that's really basically the way we run this. We put major defile on people and our light attack, so get the dots going. Then we go into a fear, and the fear sets them off balance as well. We do a heavy attack if possible, and then we cancel out that heavy attack with a Howl of Agony, doing 30% more to them enemies that are currently feared. So yeah, you can imagine if this goes up, this scales to about 18k, I believe, in terms of damage, and then another 30% on top of that. Yeah, it's really bursty, really bursty. Then I would like to talk over to you guys about how I sustain. You have seen that I'm running heavy at the moment. Heavy has some great passes to it that really help. Talking Constitution here. You restore 108 magicka stamina when you take damage every 4 seconds. So this is total bonus of 541. This is great for our stamina sustain, but also don't forget this is good for our magicka sustain as well. So as you've seen, we're running 663 recovery on the magicka. So you can add what was it? Forgot the number. Constitution. 541. So divide that. So that's 270 more. You can put on that. That's like so you're talking almost 900 effective magicka recovery, which is really enough. I don't find myself running out of magicka really fast, so that's really great. Then the revitalize is really important. Increase the magicka or stamina. Your heavy attacks restore by 25%. So we get more stamina in return when we heavy attack on the werewolf. Then the werewolf has passives that synergize with that really well. This one increases the stamina. Your heavy attacks restore by 100%. So that's 125% in total, and then I have 12% in my champion points, so that's 137 percentage of my stamina restorement when I do a heavy attack. On top of that, stamina returns are much greater when you use them on off-balance targets, and as you've seen, I can set people off balance with my rousing roar, which I will demonstrate in a bit. I'll throw in some fears right now to decrease my stamina pool. Trying to go all the way. Then I'm going to fear and set this scorpion off balance, and you will see what I mean. Bam! And we're almost full again, 2 heavy attacks, that was all it took. We're talking almost 14k stamina return here from a heavy attack, it's absolutely insane. I'll show that one more time because we all can't believe how much stamina return we had. Okay, so this scorpion goes in for it. He's off balance now. Poof! Saw the stamina bar go up, and I have a big stamina pool, man. So I believe it's around 14k. It's hard to tell because the recovery continues as well. We got 44.5k stamina, so it recovered around a third. So let's say it did 14k stamina return right there. So it's really a lot, guys. Well, let's have a look at our champion points right here. We have the steed. The steed gives us resistance. We have 50 points into this to up the critical resistance, then 66 points into Ironclad to reduce direct damage attacks, which are the most attacks in Cyrodiil and where the most burst comes from. Then we have 37 into Hardy, 37 into Elemental Defender, and 23 into Thick Skins to reduce incoming Burning Over Times effects. You don't need the Unchained because it's broken, it doesn't work in Werewolf, so you don't benefit from this at all. And in this bar we have 27 into Quick Recovery. To the resources, 40 points into Warlord to reduce the cost of Break Free, 27 into Sprinter to reduce the cost of Sprint. We are sprinting a lot in this build. Tenacity 56, this is where we get our resource management from. Heavy attacks restore 12% more stamina. Then we have 50 points into Arcanist to up that magical recovery just a little bit. We don't have a big magical recovery pool to begin with, so dumping a lot of points into this would be a bit of a waste. Not a lot of buck for your money. Then we have 49 into Mooncalf for a bit more stam recovery. Now on this bar we have 33 points into Befouled. This adds 9% to our Major Defile debuff. So normally that will be 30% and now it's 39%. So yeah, overall a stronger debuff to our enemy. And 9% into Tumbling to reduce the cost of roll dodging. Nothing blocker, you don't really want to block it as a werewolf. I know I have a sword shield equipped, but as soon as I transform, all the passes from the sword shield drop. So you don't want to block too long on a werewolf. So yeah, no points into that. And on the blue tree, 32 into Blast. This is to increase our healing, and this unlocks Spell Precision. Spell Precision gives us 12% spell critical, so a higher chance of our heals to actually crit. Then we have 11 points into Shattering Blows and 66 points into Master at Arms, because in the end we burst people down. So our bursts are direct damage attacks, so this uppens that a bit. And we have Butcher passive on this one. Increases your damage done with light attack and heavy attacks by 5% to enemies below 25% health. And this actually happens a lot. You light attack a lot with this build, you heavy attack a lot with this build. So yeah, having this passive here really helps. Then we go into Mighty. Overall flat damage increase. We have physical and disease damage going on. So yeah, 11% into that. Then 51 into Piercing. We don't have any possibilities of applying any penetration to our targets when we're a werewolf, so getting that from the CP is really important. Penetration is your first line of damage. That is if people are not shielded up, but that's where we had the Shattering Blows for on this one. And 31 into Precise Strikes. Should our burst combo crit, yeah, we want to have that up as strong as possible. Thing to mention, should you choose to run the other morph of the Claws of Anguish, Claws of Life. Claws of Life gives you a heal over time by the damage it's doing over time. If you are to choose that morph, which I really shouldn't recommend having this high burst heals that we have, but if you should choose Claws of Life, I suggest putting some points into Vermitudes to up in those dots, which also increase your healing with that. So yeah, that's all the champion points covered right there. Taking a really quick look at the pots I'm using, these are in situations I'm outnumbered. Mage Savagery pots for more crit, get more burst in. Lingering Health to boost our abuse, our healing we have already. And these are the ones I use open world. This is to detect pesky Nightblades, the Weave Cloak these days. And this is Essence of Speed for Major Expedition and another heal over time, which we lack in its build. So far, yeah, this video turned out to become a lot longer than I anticipated in the first. But I hope I covered it all. If you still have questions regarding this build or anything else, be sure to drop them down in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up if you like this video and sub for more content. Now we'll see you on my next video. Ardicer out.